So, I've been dreaming
Of.
ducks, chickens, and now turkeys after going to Tractor Supply. Those babies are so cute.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I know. I know we've tried to record this, but I'm still not over talking about cute baby turkeys. And
Yep.
I like your comparison. Or like,
Yeah, baby turkeys, they just look like normal baby chickens if you gave them steroids. They just look like really
roided
like
little
roided
chickens.
out like baby chicks.
Yeah.
But yeah, turkeys, I don't know. I would probably not like them. There was a turkey
Yeah.
when I was growing up in Vermont that we would go to in the summer.
Uh-huh.
That farm down the road from like my family's cabin, that used to be like an active farm when I was a kid, and they had animals there. And they had a turkey that would chase you down the street if you were walking on the road. So like my like idea of farm turkeys has always been like a mean turkey.
They're
So
territorial, maybe.
yeah, I think they are.
Do you know how many turkeys, like, so I'll be driving the back roads to work just
Hmm.
because I don't want to drive the highway.
Yep.
And do you know how many times a day to and from work I have to stop or slow for turkeys crossing the road?
Oh yeah, they're everywhere around
So
here.
many up and down the road. It's not something we had in Colorado.
There's an apartment complex that I deliver to, and in the parking lot there's wild turkeys, and these people at the apartment complex, they must feed these turkeys because these things they'll get in my truck, man. They'll come right up to the door, like follow me to the door,
That's
follow me back.
wild.
I'm a little sketched out because the first time it happened I thought they were gonna like attack me,
Yeah.
but no, they're just like they're very demanding of what I assume is
They
like
want
they
food or
want food.
treats.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, the people at the apartment here must feed these guys
Well,
because that's where they hang. They're there all the time.
well, look at our
So
chickens.
yeah.
Every time they hear our back door creak open, the main door we use,
Hmm.
they come a running. Well,
You know,
the ones that escape.
and actually, looking back at it now, I've seen those same turkeys attack cars driving by on the road too. So they are kind of aggressive.
They're
So I
like,
don't know.
slow down and feed
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. But yeah, no, I think about our chickens. Like, they're very demanding of treat. Like, they think when we come outside that we have a treat or a snack for them.
Oh, I know. I love seeing them
Run.
just run straight to you when you come
Yeah,
out the
the
door.
Americanas are the funniest looking when they run.
I think the Buff Orpingtons look funny. I don't know. It's just the
They're
way they
pretty
like.
similar. Waddle
Yeah.
almost.
It's
Yeah.
almost like a waddle. Yeah. The little trot that they do.
So funny.
But
Yeah, baby turkeys, like, they're cute, the baby turkeys, but they grow up to be so ugly. And also, the purpose of having a turkey is Thanksgiving dinner, or like a nice turkey dinner.
yeah,
And
you'd have to have them for meat. Like I don't think
yeah,
they lay like a bunch of eggs or anything, and they
and I'm
eat a
just
lot.
not the type of person. I'd rather just buy that shit at the grocery store. I don't want to be the person to butcher an animal I've raised.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, unless it ever came down to, like, I had to. Like, if
Yeah.
meat became weird or something in the grocery
I mean,
store.
around here though, I mean, you might as well just hunt the turkeys.
Oh,
These
yeah,
turkeys,
yeah.
like, I think it would be easier to hunt a turkey than it would be to
Raise it
try
and
to raise
feed
it.
it. I
Yeah.
mean, the ducks already definitely increased our budget for
Yeah.
food and stuff because the ducks eat a lot.
Yeah.
I think honestly, this, like, I know I dream of like runner ducks because they're so silly looking, and I dream of, like, today they had at Tractor Supply, they had those khaki ducks, which I think
Hmm.
are really cool, and the blue Swedish. But like, when it comes down to it, like, I dream of all these ducks and stuff, but I think I'm okay having these ones until we don't have them and not getting ducks again.
Yeah, and just having the chickens. If
Cause
we had the chickens are so much more low maintenance than the
yeah,
ducks, for sure.
and it would keep the coop a little cleaner, a little less muddy.
Yeah.
I mean, except when weather happens, obviously, but like today you were out there, and do you think it's more with the ducks when you say
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's a lot more work.
when you were flipping up the dirt and
Yeah, oh yeah,
stuff?
it's a lot muddier in there too
Yeah,
because they have their pool. Like
yeah,
we wouldn't have to have that pool in there if we didn't have ducks. So that would be the ground would just be so much more tolerable in there.
And we know most people say don't keep your ducks and chickens together. We know.
Yeah, we do.
But we have one like handicap drake. The rest
Yeah.
are just hens. And
Yep.
he doesn't go after anyone except his mate, who is married this season.
Yeah, I think so. That's the only one I've seen him mating with.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've seen him mating though. Was the other
Is
night.
it? Yeah. He's very low energy.
Yeah.
He's just a peeking with poor buddy has
Poor
bad
bad
knees.
Yeah. He gets around all right though. He eats, he drinks, he lounges in the grass.
Yeah.
You know.
He's sweet. He's definitely the sweetest duck. I'd be more worried about Rowan
Yeah.
messing with someone, but all the birds have been great. So.
Yeah.
Together. I mean, other than our rooster drama.
Yep.
Which, mini update on that. I don't think our big rooster is the big dominant one. You know how your theory was that Shady, our Seabright,
Yeah.
was just being friends with that bigger one because he's like, oh, I can get messed up. I saw Shady go after the big rooster.
Yeah.
The big rooster got scared and then went to pick on Merlin. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like the story of getting bullied and then becoming the bully.
Maybe.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, because Merlin's definitely afraid of the big one. He's not
Yeah.
afraid of Shady. He's afraid of the big one. So I think the big one definitely beat him up.
But the big one's afraid of Shady.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's definitely a battle for dominance amongst them. Merlin, though, he's been going in the coop lately, and we're easing him back in. He actually slept out in the coop the other night with all the other hens and the big rooster.
Yeah, he hid under the Australorp, right?
Yep. And honestly, they were, because I thought something had gotten him. I thought like an owl or something came by, or a fox, and snatched him up, because I couldn't find him when I was putting him all to bed. And finally, I was like, all right, I'll look in the coop one more time. And I found him underneath like one of the full-size hens. But when I looked in there, he had already been in there for 10, 15 minutes. There was no fuss. There was nothing. So I was like, I'm just going to leave him. And hopefully he's not like beat up in the morning. And he wasn't. Like, he was fine in the morning. However, in the morning, when I did let him out, he immediately ran out of that coop.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't hanging around. So I think he's definitely... The big rooster, I think, is definitely, like, forgotten why he hated him or why he beat him up. But Merlin still definitely remembers, like, don't mess with the big rooster. So
it's like never
we're slowly reincorporating him for sure.
And honestly, as far as rooster problems go, ours are, like, pretty mild. Like, they haven't been overly, except that one time.
Yeah.
When Merlin...
Yeah, I mean... In the 3 years, this will be what, the third? Yeah, this is the third, like, spring season. I think. No, this is our second. We've done 2 complete spring seasons, I believe.
This is our third.
Yeah, so we're going on our third. We've only ever had problems with, we've only ever had, like, rooster problems once.
Who are the hens we added last spring?
The Australorps.
That's right.
Yep.
And the big rooster, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah.
And the only rooster that we've had to call is the one that was being mean to the hens.
Yep, and obviously
Us, but the hens was the final drawing point, because...
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Figure we got to do a mini rooster update just because.
Of course.
We've done it for the past couple weeks.
Yep, and that's been a work in progress. So obviously, we'll keep updating on it coming weeks. Hopefully, because I mean, so far it's the reintegration and like the dealing with that kind of aggression has been it's been successful so far. Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch subjects because I haven't been out really where you're gardening and stuff. How was transplanting? Seeds.
I'm a little worried about the onions. The onions, I think see, the problem is with transplanting is you have to be pretty gentle with them, and onions you have to thin. So I think I'm a little worried. I was a little too rough with them when I transplanted them, and now they're not taking. They're still alive, but they're definitely not like thriving out there just yet. But you never know. They might just need a couple days to like settle in, get some roots going, and I'm thinking about maybe taking some of the onion seeds that we have and just throwing them out there
And seeing how
and
that
just seeing
works.
how that works, just so we have like a backup if all of these die. But
And
we have the beets and potatoes; those haven't come up yet. My garlic that I planted last fall has resprouted for the spring, and that's growing.
nice.
And so I'm actually really
That's
excited about
exciting.
that because that's the first time I've ever like overwintered something, like which means planting it in the fall.
And you did it
Yeah,
successfully,
yep,
or from what it seems.
yeah. So far, they're
Also,
all
I don't
alive
know
still.
if we've said, but we are garlic fiends.
Yeah,
I mean, we put garlic salt on, or
everything.
garlic powder, or minced garlic. Like, we have garlic almost with every meal, it feels like.
Yeah.
So,
So yep, I'm excited about that. But yeah, I mean, and then today I just moved around
wait,
some compost and kind of prepping the rest of the garden area for like the warmer weather stuff that'll come in a month or so.
yeah. But why did you start the onions inside if you knew they were going to be hard to transplant?
Well, they say you're supposed to start them inside because you get that extra grow time. So the thing with onions is what actually triggers the plant. So an onion is just a bulb on the plant.
Hmm.
A bulb is like it's a subterranean like structure on the plant.
Hmm.
And what triggers the plant to start growing that, start bulbing is what it's called, is the length of daylight. So at a very specific time of year, all onion plants start growing their bulbs no matter what size they are. So obviously the bigger the plant, the bigger the onion bulb. So because of that, you want to start your onions as early as possible. So you're supposed to start them inside, transplant them out, so that way when that day comes where like the
Hmm.
bulb it triggers to form its bulb, the plant is as big as possible, and you get the biggest onions as possible.
Nice. I
So
just didn't know
yeah,
that, so I
yeah, yeah,
knew
yeah.
that I know that you have done like all your research and stuff, but half the time I'm like, I don't even ask, I just trust.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time too, it's a learning curve as well. Like I've never grown onions before. This is my first year
The
doing
first
it.
year.
So we tried doing it, tried the starting it inside and transplanting it outdoors. And I mean, if the transplants don't take and the seeds do, yeah, we might get smaller onions, but
We don't
that's
need that
still
many
better than
onions
nothing.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. So yeah, I'll probably try that. And potatoes haven't sprouted yet, but they're out there. Neither of the beets.
Hmm.
Yeah, in a few weeks here, I'll start slowly planting the rest of the stuff as the weather gets more consistently warm.
And you did both types of beets, the sugar beets and the
Yep, sugar beets and the just regular beets.
nice.
So
That's a loud car.
yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see like come fall time how much food we're actually able to produce and what we're able to get. But
I'm
it'll be fun.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
And you head most of that stuff off. I do the bare minimum when it comes to the gardening. And it's not because I hate it. I think I have a cursed thumb. You know how people have green thumbs? I think I have a cursed one. I've killed bamboo. And my string of turtles that was supposed to be
You
low
don't do yeah, you
maintenance.
don't do good with house plants. But if you have like a big garden outside
Yeah.
and yeah, like you remember to water that whole thing, when it's like
Yeah.
just one potted plant that's not going to produce anything, like the string of turtles, it's easy to forget
Yeah.
about those.
This is also him trying to like build my confidence for when he goes
Well,
away for a week and I'm gonna have to water.
yes, yeah, and you're gonna have to water the.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it just rains that week.
No, because even last year with our smaller garden, like I would still help out. Like if you were,
Yeah,
there's a couple times for some reason you needed me to do it.
yeah.
I can't remember. Were you gone? No, I
I
don't
don't
know. I
remember.
don't remember, but
It might have just been you doing it just to do it.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, maybe to be helpful because you do work pretty late, but
Yeah.
you're like dusk was the good time to do it. I've been towards the end of the season where my season gets slower and
Hmm.
yours gets.
Yes, so I prefer. I don't know if other people have the same experience or not. Maybe it's common sense, but I prefer watering at dusk because if you water in the morning in the summer and the leaves are wet, it'll like burn the leaves basically. like the sun will hit like the water droplets and it'll cause like a magnifying glass effect and it'll damage the leaves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that's why I water at night.
Hmm.
So it's dry in the morning when the sun's out. But I don't know.
Tell you what,
That could be myth, but that's how I've always done it. And it does. It kind of just makes it's if you're watering your plants at the same time every day, it kind of makes care easier.
I'll tell you what, today was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
I'm really hoping this is a sign that spring is here.
Yeah,
I
me
hope
too.
I have the windows open today. We got a nice cross breeze going in here.
Yeah.
We went hiking.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I love hiking.
About 2 miles. It's kind of cool. Our little hiking trail has like a pond. Like you go up to the peak and then you go like around the other side of it, and there's like a little pond type place you can.
It's fascinating.
hike
It's an
down to.
interesting place because it's not a big mountain, but the pond
Yeah.
is at like the top of the mountain.
And it's a
not-
sizable pond.
Yeah.
Like it's makes me want to jump in.
Yeah.
But then I worry about leeches.
That place definitely has leeches.
Yeah.
Like that water looks leechy to me.
Yeah.
Especially like in the summer. Like remember last summer we were up there, it's like it is pretty like it gets weedy.
Yeah.
But-
and muggy.
Yeah. Which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like frogs and other types of life and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
get
and
in
it's
there.
still it's a beautiful hike, and the nice thing is that it's like
Right up the road.
it's right up the road, but also we can do a mile and a half, like we did today. We did a mile and a half out and a mile and a half back, or not? No. Sorry, we did 2 miles total.
I'd say it was probably a little over 2 miles.
A little over 2 miles.
If I had to guess.
The way we wrapped it, but you can do a shorter hike than 2 miles because you can do a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Like to and from the car based on where we are, which is nice.
Yeah, next time we do that, I definitely I gotta set my watch or at least look at the distance thing on my watch
So we can start
So we can
tracking
track
it just to see
how far
Yeah.
far we actually do go.
I know our goal. I know this isn't really homesteading related, but I know one of our goals this spring, summer, and fall is like more hiking, more camping. I work at pools, so I get really busy during the summer because that's the time for pools and stuff. So the 2 biggest months are June and July. So we're hoping to do some early spring camping and hopefully some fall camping, and then hopefully hiking a couple times a week, especially with that trail just up the road, and then hopefully a couple adventure ones where we
actually
to
go.
a trailhead that's a little more
A little more scenic and maybe a little
more
ways
work
away.
too.
Yeah,
like because this one is a pretty simple hike.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah, I would say so.
But as I get in shape too, because I'm not in the best shape, so getting in shape, I just want to get like really good at that hike. Just go up, go down, like get stronger, and not be like so winded on the inclines. Like obviously you're gonna get winded at some point. Like I heard you even get winded like here, like after like a long stretch or whatever. Like that's just normal. But right now it's breathtaking.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the view.
I mean, also too, now that we're kind of getting into the summer months as well, it's gonna stay lighter later, which means like we should definitely try. I'd say bare minimum to do that. To do that bare minimum
3 times a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2, but like 3 would be awesome.
I think Monday through Friday do the 2 days where it's the shorter hike, and then on like one of the weekend days we do the longer one.
Okay.
Because I think we can make that 3 miles. I think if we go to the other start of the trail, I think it's a total of 3 miles because I think it's a mile and a half to that other parking lot.
Yeah.
And then a mile and a half back. So I'm pretty sure we can make it longer instead of the short route.
Yeah.
Too. It's funny though because we took a new trail today, and I got confident because it was flat, so I was leading.
Oh yeah.
And this vicious snake almost got me.
It was a garter snake. They're completely harmless, and it's a little one too.
I think
And
my whole body shook.
Erica screamed,
I
and
yelped.
she was pretty winded at this point in the hike. We're well over a mile in, and burst of energy. Burst of
I
energy
should have
and
ran
adrenaline.
forward, not
Yeah.
backwards.
And I was
I
like,
should have gone
dang.
up the incline, not backwards.
You should have used that
I
adrenaline
should
for your
have.
workout.
Dude, I just, my whole body shook. I'm not a snake. I'm not a creepy, crawly person. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes.
In hindsight, I shouldn't have been reassuring, being like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's just a gardener snake." I should have been like, "Run!"
Just fuck with me.
Yep.
Except I've done like the research. Like you guys don't really get rattlers. Like
Yeah.
the most.
I think technically there is the timber rattlesnake here in New England, but it's like
but
the
it's like
rarest
very
snake.
south too.
Well, yeah, it's like the rarest snake in New England too. So the
Yeah.
chances of finding one are pretty
Well, and they're
slim.
mostly on the southern border
Yeah,
of New England. Like before you start getting into the
to like New York and stuff. Yeah.
fascinating. I know hiking's not really about homesteading
Yeah,
or
that's fine.
anything, but
It's close enough. I mean,
I do think it's important to.
to be able, yeah, to be able to like go over land.
Mhm.
Like I would say hiking is. I guess it's if you're like a prepper type person, you probably want to be good at hiking. I would imagine, like definitely
Yeah.
being able to cover like long like stretches of land on uneven terrain with weight. That's definitely a like a skill you would need that would be useful to like prepping or like a doomsday scenario.
Yeah, I think so. I think you get two types of preppers. Don't know why I'm stuttering today. Sorry. You get like the really gun ho ones that are buying like the generators and the backup, and like you've seen The Last of Us where Nick Offerman's character plays this guy, but like circumstances were perfect for him because the government was collecting people to go to these safe havens at the very beginning of the outbreak. And he had a hidden like stowaway place with like surveillance so he knew when they left. But regardless, he's the one who got like all the generators and like was living his best life. But I think for us, I would probably, depending on the circumstance, of course, is probably lean towards the more nomadic side.
Yeah, if you're prepping, having all the stuff now, you're just gonna risk losing that because no matter what scenario, if you're launched into like a prepper type scenario, the early days of that are going to be absolute chaos. And if you already have all the stuff stocked up, people are going to come and get that. Right
remember
right out the gate.
Remember how chaotic people were over toilet paper?
Yeah.
At the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
It's so funny because my mom she was just the type of person who always has like stockpiles of toilet paper because she has like this weird fear of running out of toilet paper. And this is way before COVID. Like, she always had the big Costco, like 3 of them in the house. I mean, we were a family of 5, so we went through toilet paper pretty quickly. So we lucked out because she had a plethora.
Oh yeah,
that time. But
but not even like the COVID stuff. Like here in New England, like if you go to the grocery store right before a big snowstorm, like the place is a madhouse, and like all the bread and the milk is gone usually.
Yeah,
and it's like. Yeah, so where were we going with this? We were talking about like prepping and stuff
being
like that.
nomadic, over staying put.
Yeah. So if you have a prepper mindset, you should be preparing to be nomadic, to not stay in one place, to get out of wherever you're at and try to get to safety, or have the bare minimum stuff you're going to need to get through that chaos. Like that chaos period of whatever it is, and then start accumulating the stuff you need for like a homestead. So with that being said, like I've said this a million times before, if you're coming at it from like a preparation standpoint, you should never rely on electricity for anything. Like everything that electricity provides you now, you should know how to meet those needs without it. As a prepper. because chances are, like, if a scenario unfolds where like you are like establishment is
Mhm.
gone, infrastructure is gone, you're completely on your own, chances are electricity is not going to be around.
Yeah.
So if you have like solar generators and like you still have a lot of your needs being met by like electric systems and you just established like a backup electric system, that's, I don't know, that's not, I think that's too shallow of thinking. I think you need to really have to know how to like meet your needs without electricity.
Yeah.
Which that can be done. Like civilization
Obviously, yeah.
civilization thrived for thousands of years without electricity. Like
Yeah.
electricity is a fairly new thing.
Yeah.
So what was that?
So like a little dirt bike
Yeah,
is
that's
what if
funny.
I had to guess.
But yeah, so
Well, it's like it's part of the
yeah,
reason we were talking about like the well and stuff, like
yeah,
having a hand tap.
Yeah.
To get water.
To get water out, and I mean even then too, it's like I wouldn't even worry about the garden. So yeah, from my standpoint, if you're going to be a prepper, you got to have like a good vehicle, some guns, maybe like a week's worth of food, and a plan to like go somewhere. Um, maybe some maps, like road maps and atlases, just to have, and like
shouldn't be a bad
yeah,
thing. That's one thing I don't think we really have with our camping and hiking.
Yeah, you should definitely get some of those.
Because we do have some pretty decent equipment. Because we always dream of doing more camping. I've been the bad one about that, but you've done some more extensive camping.
Yeah. Yeah, just get out from wherever you're at and go somewhere. Try to get to safety. If there is no safety, then be a nomad until you find somewhere that is safe.
Yeah. Or
but
wait till
don't
people
like
are if you stay put, because people are gonna want what you have. Desperation is gonna hit people differently. When people are starving, they're either going to, throw their morals out the window, or they're going to just give up because they don't want to betray their morals.
Yeah.
But then, I liked what you said about if you have kids.
Yeah, like if you have kids, I mean, we're not parents, but I don't think this is a crazy thing to conceptualize. Like, if your kids are starving to death and you're a parent, what you're willing to do to feed them, there's pretty much nothing that's going to stop you from doing that. So if you think that your neighbors...
Because they're starving. They are suffering. Yeah. We're not talking about like a day without food. Yeah. We're talking about this is...
And
this is a couple days. They're weak. And
it's like, if you have kids, think about that. Like, if you have kids and you know the person up the street from you who you've never talked to and never met has a lot of food, and your kids are going to die, you mean to tell me you're not going to go kill them?
Or do what you have to. Like,
you're going to go kill them. Yeah. Like, that's just...
Kill them, or like, there's also the demand, give us this and we'll let you go, and then they're screwed.
Yeah.
But
that's the problem, though. They're probably suffering, too.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the mindset I put myself in. Like, okay, if you're prepping, understand. Like, do you really want to be fighting day in, day out? Like, you're never going to get, like, a time to just
I don't know.
relax. There's going to be people constantly coming for your shit.
Yeah.
So...
Well, even me, I'm like the type of person that, like, if I saw a kid suffering, oh my God, I think I would be...
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care about myself. It would be like, here, take it. Take what I have. I'll figure something else out. Like, I don't know. But, and in a real scenario, I probably wouldn't survive very long.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably be too nice.
Yeah, that's actually, I guess, in a real survival scenario, like, selfishness is your friend, kind of. I don't know. You still need teamwork, though.
I think
you'd still be better off with teamwork than
but
by yourself.
I think, and I don't think teamwork comes right away. I think that comes after.
Yeah.
After the big rush of the violence, the stealing, all that. Once things calm down, population is down significantly.
Yeah. Like,
I think that's when the teamwork comes and the rebuilding. And I mean, look at every apocalyptic movie ever.
Yeah.
Like, and show. But for me, I think my motivation would be different because, like you said, we're not parents right now.
Yeah.
And I would have a hard time if a family came to our house or like saw us and we had food. I
Yeah.
would have a hard time being like, no, you can't have it, or like defending my stuff. I'd be like, just
Yeah.
take it. We'll figure something else out.
That's actually a really good point because yeah, I said you would just kill them, but you're right. If they didn't have kids, I bet you could persuade them to give you to give you it. That is
Yeah,
true.
because I'd be easily persuaded. I don't
Yeah.
think you'd even have to persuade me. I'd see you starving and I'd be like, here, this is what I can do to help. And
Yeah.
I'll figure out something else and we'll eat Rosie.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Rosie is emergency food. I
Dude.
joke about that, but dude, we should be the first. We'd eat her before the chickens. I think. I think we
Yeah,
would.
because the chickens do produce eggs.
And yeah, and Rosie.
I don't want to think about eating dog.
I know.
I know, like, if you're starving, I know, like, we're talking about that and
Rosie
stuff.
would feed us for weeks, dude.
Yeah, she's a unit.
Yes.
She looks like a potato.
No, I love Rosie. It makes me
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to eat her.
But honestly, Watson would be good to keep around because he's very protective of you and I.
Yeah.
And
Watson serves a purpose. That's why I'm like, we would eat Rosie first. She's, of all of our animals, the most useless.
she's also special needs.
I know.
So she requires more care.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, she don't hike easy.
Should be a burden on us, unfortunately. Everybody else wouldn't.
Yeah.
Including Bub,
even Bub would be like, I don't know. Even then, I think I would just like leave.
Cats bring us food. Cats would bring us dead birds and shit.
But even then, like, this makes me so sad because that cat is mine. Even though I'm a dog person, like, that cat is definitely mine. I got him when you were deployed, so I wasn't living a lonely life. But even then, I think what I would do in that case, which might work, is I would just try and get Bub to follow us.
Yeah.
And I honestly think he might follow us for a time being. But even then, I would just let him survive the elements. You know, cats are smaller, so they can get into, like, barn spaces. And I don't know. I think I'd let him survive the elements. You know, I wouldn't keep him in the house if we're leaving the house. You know, I'd make sure he had a way out.
Yeah.
And then, but, you know, trying to chug along a cat too. He's not gonna want to be leashed or anything, and a cat carrier, that's gonna be hard. So I would just hope he would kind of follow us.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it would be if we were in, like, we had a vehicle, we're in the Suburban and we're just going, you know, overland or something like that. Yeah, we have a cat carrier I wouldn't even put Bub in the cat carrier.
Oh, no, we'd just throw him in the Suburban, which he hates. But
wherever we go and we, like, camp out at night, like, we'd let him out. He's not going to, like, run away.
No, I don't
stay
think
with
so.
us. I think he'd stay right with us.
Unless something got scared. But honestly, even when we sit in the front yard, he stays right with us. Like, if we are in the backyard, he's out and about with us. Like, he does like climbing certain trees if he thinks we're trying to put him inside because he loves being. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't make special efforts to keep him with me. Just because Watson would be off leash and just fine.
Yeah.
But also, Watson on a leash would be just fine that you could tie to one of the hiking packs because he's easy.
Yeah.
And he's obedient, man. He gets sad if Rosie's in trouble because he doesn't like the word no.
Man, I'm sorry I said I'd eat Rosie first. It breaks my heart, but I would.
I was
I would.
over the chickens, but I guess the chickens keep producing food. But
makes me so sad that that's true.
Dude, we gotta switch the subject. I feel sad that I'd let Bub survive his own. That cat's been pampered. He is scrappy, though. I think he'd be just fine. Animals.
I don't know. I like having conversations like this though, because being able to, like, talk about stuff like this, it does kind of help me brainstorm ideas for like our homesteading project, because it makes you think about, like, okay, how do we get water, how do we get food, like, how long could we actually sustain here for a while. And I don't know, it just makes me think about trying to, like, identify certain things that we use often and how I can, like, build some kind of system to replace that.
I will say the nice thing about the road we live on is I think most other people would be prepped to be able to stay in their places for
For
a
a little
minute.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think you'd have too many strangers hiking up this way.
Yeah.
Because it's not a big, like,
It's not like a throughway.
yeah, it's not like a
Yeah.
suburb. It's, yeah. So there is that too that I think about, that we might be okay not leaving immediately.
Yeah.
Because, like, if it started in the winter, I think I'd try and hunker down here for a
Yeah.
minute and
Yeah.
figure it out.
That's a good point. I've never thought of that before. Like if the doomsday scenario unfolds, it does matter when it does. Because you're right. If it unfolded in like late December, early January, you might not want to.
No,
You
I
might
don't
not
think I
want
would.
to run
Yeah,
it. You might want to take your chances
yeah.
with the winter, or
I
like
would take
hunkering
our
down here.
chances at home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I would too. Now, if it's summer, I think I would be like, okay, we're gonna move because
Yeah.
we can sleep outside. We'll be fine.
Well, and
But
plus, if it's summer, then you can go and get something established before winter happens.
yeah, yep.
Like a little hut or something.
Or get to safety before winter
Or
happens.
safety, if there is safety.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is safety to you?
I don't know. I guess like
Because, babe, those places are going to fill up by
I don't
people
know. I'm
on
thinking.
cars and out of Boston.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm thinking of all of like the possible scenarios it could be. Like if it's a war, you get to the not the war zone.
yeah.
If it's famine, you go to the place famine isn't happening. Hopefully, it's not worldwide. If it's if it's the electric grid, you try to see if it's worldwide or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, you
Chances
say
are it won't be.
worldwide, but, like, it'd probably be North American wide. So where would we go if we only have on foot?
I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, that
Yeah,
would
you're
be
right.
harder.
You're right.
I mean, I think you'd have to figure it out.
Because also too, it's not like you're getting notifications on your phone now telling you like, hey, you know, South America, or like, hey, there's boats going to Europe or something like that, where
Yeah.
Europe's not affected.
So then you run the risk of going to these places where there's going to be more people thinking the same thing. How do we get somewhere else?
Yeah.
And then, there's only so much
But it's
space.
like, think of how shaky that information is, though, because it's
Yeah.
not like it's going to be hearsay, and you're
Yeah.
just going to roll the dice. So you're
Yeah.
right. You probably are better off just being like, nah, we're gonna.
Because I imagine
figure
it would
out here.
affect the continent.
Yeah, whatever it may be, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what the scenario. Like, I'm thinking of all of the scenarios in which, like, government and society and civilization as we know it kind of just stops participating in this
Mhm.
like system, and it's just a free for all. Everybody on their own. That's basically the gist of every scenario I think about. Is like it's a free for all.
Yeah.
Something happened that's caused a free for all.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, no, these are fun things to talk about. I just feel like it's easy to also go in circles with it and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, yeah, but this, and this, and honestly, you can and that's the funny thing about prepping is you can think that you are one of the most prepped people, but depending on what that scenario is, no one's gonna be fully prepped.
And that's the thing, like.
It's like when you're faced with like a life or death situation, you don't know if you're going to respond with fight or flight until that moment. So it's fun to talk about these things, and you can kind of think in your head of like your strategies and stuff and not be brainless about it, but at the end of the day, you're not going to know.
When I was in the military, there was people in my unit, and every unit has one of these guys. They call him the gear hound. And he's just like the guy who's super into like the gear, and he has like his own personal like flat jacket and the nice helmets, and he just like nerds out over like cool gear. And I think that's might be what a lot of preppers are. They're actually just gear hounds. Like they want all the cool prepping gear. It's not even about like the paranoia or the prepping aspect of it.
I mean, I can't blame them.
Yeah,
cool
no,
gear
I think,
is cool.
Yeah. And I can kind of empathize with that. I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Because I'm lumping all preppers into like one group in my head, and I'm like, yeah, they're all like this paranoid schizophrenic type. But I think a good amount of them are probably just gear hounds.
Yeah.
But
Did we? Sorry, like I'm switching subjects again because I'm now thinking about it for some reason. Um, when did we give our mini rooster update? Did I tell you what I saw this morning when I let him out?
I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know if we did. No.
Yeah, I don't. So I let him out this morning because it's like your one day to sleep in, and I was going into work anyways. So I'm nice on those days only. Jake
Yeah.
mostly lets them out and takes care of them in the morning, which is especially nice in the winter. But in this nice season, I don't mind getting up a little extra early to get them ready. But so mini rooster update. I We have Shady, who's our sea bright, and then we have the big rooster, and then we have Merlin, the little rooster that hasn't been in the coop for a while. And this morning when I let him out, Shady went after the big rooster, and the big rooster got scared of Shady and went after Merlin. And then Merlin went out of the pen again. Because in the morning when we let him out of the dog crate,
Yeah.
he just follows me around, and I was like laying food down and stuff, and he was in the coop, and I'm like, come on, Merlin, you're gonna want to get out. And he didn't. And then later, the big rooster chased him.
Yep. Yeah. I think 2 nights ago he slept out in the coop.
Mm-hmm. You were worried. You couldn't find him.
Yeah. Yeah. He was hiding underneath one of the full size chickens, but I was looking for him for so long, and they were all chill inside the coop. I was like, I'm gonna let him stay out here tonight.
Yeah.
We'll roll the dice. We'll see if it works. And yeah, it worked just fine. But in the morning when I let him out, he ran right out the run. He was not hanging around with the big rooster. So he's still afraid of the big rooster, but the big rooster seems to be a little more tolerant of having him around, which is good. I mean, we're slowly getting closer and closer to just reintegrating him back into the
Yeah.
flock and not having to keep him separated.
Yeah, it's more just chasing him off of his area. It's not like attack mode.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Because he was attack mode.
Cool.
I like, you said something earlier about oh, no, last night where he was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So at night he roosts and he's outside the run. He doesn't like going in there every night. Some nights he does get inside the coop, but last night he didn't, and he got up on top of the run. Usually he gets up there in a position to where I can like step up on something and like grab him and bring him down. But he got up into like the middle of it
Mm-hmm.
to where I couldn't get him. And I was like, I'm gonna have to leave him here all night. An owl's gonna eat him or something. But what I ended up having to do was I stood up on one of the stumps on the inside of the coop, and then I just like separated the like the wiring that's on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
and then I basically like pulled him down, pulled him down through the roof.
Yeah. And he was pretty much ready to get picked up then.
Yeah, I pulled him closer to me, and then he stepped up on my forearm, and I actually was able to like I had him like a parrot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the birds have been fun. It's so exciting because we're getting in the season where we're going to start looking to get babies.
Yep.
We're just waiting for a hen to go Brody. And last year it was our Silky. And I know we've talked about this briefly, especially the Silky. But Buff Orpingtons are known for it. So this year we're hoping Sharkeisha or Dodo go Brody, which are our two Buff Orpingtons. And we're going to give them some babies, hopefully.
Yeah, we got to find the breeds we want, though.
Yeah, usually Tractor Supply, like worst case scenario, they'll have the Americanas, which
they usually
wouldn't mind having more of.
They usually have light Brahmas
and light
too.
Brahmas, pullets. I would love buff Brahmas though.
Yeah, buff Brahmas are beautiful.
Or Cochins, like the fluffy feet chickens, is what we're hoping for.
I would love some Cochins too. Back when I used to work at Tractor Supply, they used to have Cochins, and they weren't super common, but it's not impossible to like come across some. But yeah, Cochins would be fun. Light Brahmas and or more Americanas.
Well, it was like me telling you last year when I was like, well, I'm only going to get cayugas if they happen to be at Tractor Supply. And this is what my deal was with them. If they happen when I go to pick up food or something. But what really happened in reality is I was at work every day calling every Tractor Supply in a 30-minute radius
Yep.
to see if they had cayugas. Or I'd be like, oh, do you have ducks in? Oh, do you have cayugas? Oh, how many are left? And then I drove to Sanford and got the 2 cayugas.
Yes.
Which, they're the best. They're
Yeah.
easy to catch.
Yep. They're not the smartest ducks, but they're fun.
They're dumb.
Yep.
But yeah, that's Morticia and Gomez Adams, even though they're both girls.
Yep. One of them's got some white spots on them.
But cayugas are mostly all black.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
they've been all black until recently, and it's been like in the past month or so, this one just started getting white spots on her. And it's like I don't know what that is, but it's kind of interesting.
So like the Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if that's like a condition of some sort, like because I think they're known for being like melanistic.
Yeah.
So, well, what's all this white? Why is she getting white feathers? Maybe she's not a purebred cayuga.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I don't really trust Tractor Supply fully to know
yeah,
what they're getting.
And I mean, Tractor Supply, they just get it from the hatchery. The hatchery might be, cutting corners here and there. But yeah, definitely. I'd like to hold out as long as we can to get like the babies. I mean, right now we don't have any Brody hens.
Yeah, we're trying to hold out too because we want to build a little bit bigger of a
now
coop. But we could get away with a couple without.
I've also noticed too. I mean, they might start going Brody. That Brody hen though, because this is also what I was kind of like brainstorming today and thinking about. Right now, all of the hens are laying in that Levy spot underneath the porch. I actually like it when they do that because the eggs are cleaner than them laying them in their coop.
Which also means we just need more nesting boxes or something in there.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means. Which we could figure something out for that. But chances are when one of them goes Brody, that's where she's gonna go. She's gonna go there to lay on those eggs.
And she's not gonna want to get off them.
Yeah, she's not gonna want to go back in. So we just got to be, I guess, weary of that. So,
well, that's like, remember, that was Roxy's demise.
Yeah.
She was Brody. She was sitting on eggs she was small enough to get out of the coop before.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yep.
And then a dog got her.
Yep. Poor Roxy.
She's our favorite little Old English.
Yep, the Old
Rest
English.
in peace, Roxy.
I cleaned out that one, like, that, you know how we have the 3 coops, and then we have that one coop that's kind of just like a place for them to hang out when it rains and stuff. I lifted up the floorboard on that the other day because I was cleaning it, and I found an Old English egg under there, and she's been dead for probably like 6.
More
she's been
a
dead.
year.
She's been dead almost a year now.
Yeah.
So probably like 8 months. Yeah, I'd say it's probably been about 8 months. It's probably like early summer last
fall.
year. It's like early summer last year. Because that's when she was going Brody. So I was hoping, because we started talking about chickens again, that we would like jump into something, and then I would be able to get 2 recordings out of this, but I don't think we're going to.
No, it'll just be a circle of a bunch of different topics. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, this one will just be long.
Yeah. Make it long.
I'm done, are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Boop, 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 boop.